Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Entertainment on our Killing 9505. We're here for WAOF1 round 7 of the season, and we are at Canada for short qualifying. It's supposed to have a sprint race. Why does he not put sprint race in? Just a second. Someone needs to tell him. Well, you listening yet? If you're listening, you ain't put the sprint race in. Where yo? There we go. I just told him in the Discord. Right. Anyway. Yeah, as I say, so yeah, it's short qualifying, sprint race, 50% race tonight. So we've also know that we got one new driver in Ice Fox, TLR Ice Fox, who's won the Wheel of Doom, as we've been calling it, to allow him to get into the race tonight as a reserve. And also there was another reserve pulled out, which was Jon Snow, so he'll be joining us in the race tonight as well. In fact, he's already in the lobby. Look, so in a way, to my usual pre-quali thing now. So we are going to invite in ARL Gaza. So why is it saying he's in the main menu? He's clearly in the lobby. Let's get me in anyway for our interview. Here's Gaza. There he is, top man. Hello. Hello, Gaza. You alright? Good. Yeah, not bad. I'm just putting the party audio on now, so you should be able to include your audio now.
Yep, it's on now, mate.
Excellent. Okay, right. Well, first of all, buddy, I know I literally just asked you, but I'm going to ask you again. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. Ticking along, all tickety-boo. Right. Well, as it's become the sort of norm, we've been doing these little interviews with people, or with the drivers, I mean, before the race each week now. It's been quite fun so far, I must admit. And but we always we get the serious stuff done out of the way first, and then we have a little bit of fun afterwards. So, in terms of your season so far, Gaza, you've I'm on the
It's not been very good.
Where are you? I can't find you.
In the middle.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're 11th. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, not the best.
No. So, yeah, I mean, points are a bit different this season. It's a bit like other leagues that you and I are in, with points throughout the field for whoever finishes. So, you'll know how quickly it can change from other leagues. But where would your sort of pre-season goal have been for drivers?
Top 7, top 6, 7.
Top 6 or 7. Okay.
Nowhere near. Like Reed, Carsey, that other lad who was in at Monaco who dominated.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Sainty.
Them boys are just something else.
They are. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to do it.
Neither do I. Otherwise, I'd be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I mean, P11 at the moment. Obviously, there's a long way to go. It's only round 7, so lots and lots of time to go.
And there's a few tracks coming up that I'm looking forward to.
Excellent. Okay.
Canada's not one of my favourites, but especially if it rains, as you know, I just cannot do this game in the rain.
Right. Okay. So not favourite. Not a fan
of
rain.
God, no! If it rains, I'm putting it in the wall. I'm going to find Carsey, crash into Carsey, and then and then that's it. Then I'm going to retire. Yeah.
Well, you're here for first, folks. So, well, that'll close the championship at the top. Yeah, Carsey.
That's what I mean. I'll be doing like 5 players. I'll be doing like 5 players a favour if I did that.
Yeah, and surely they'll repay that somehow later in the season. I won't bet on it.
Well, Carsey would. Yeah. No, but the best thing about this league is, and I'm not knocking any other league I'm in, as I thoroughly enjoy the other leagues,
Yeah.
mainly because I'm a lot more competitive in the other leagues. Is that when I was running last week before my pedals exploded,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, around Monaco and you're third and you're in this league with these boys, and you do feel like you've accomplished something because as modest as they all are, they're so bloody quick. And to be third round a track like Monaco in
Yeah.
this league with some of these boys was, I was really pleased with that, but my brake pedal wasn't.
Yeah, no, I felt so bad for you. Especially when I
Yeah,
found out what it was. I was like, oh no, I
yeah.
couldn't believe that.
And
I
I
couldn't
come out of
believe
the
that.
last chicane and it just my accelerator stuck to the floor, so I had to just sit there with my foot on the brake to not get in the way of anybody. Just so the car was just going wah, 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 wah. And I just had to sit there until it disqualified me
Yeah, yeah,
because I didn't want to pause it so the car was going round the track.
yeah. Of course, yeah. So yeah, sit there until it
But yeah, I
disqualifies
was
you. At least you're ghosted, like. But
yeah.
yeah.
But no,
Um,
it's been good, and I do believe the only way you get better is by racing better drivers.
Absolutely, yeah. Like with any
Yeah,
sport or
and Jon
game you
Snow
play.
obviously thinks the
So
same because he's joined.
he has. John's joined, and he's won the second spin on the wheel tonight, so he's reserving for Red Bull tonight. Um, just a quick look at the constructors because I know you won't want to talk about it too much. Ferrari in the wooden spoon position at the moment in P10. Um, having
Yeah.
said that, it is really tight in the constructors. So literally, a couple of good races
It's
in a row, and you'll fly up the order. So it's literally,
it's Dean Bryce's fault
yeah, that's true.
because he asked me to be his team partner and then never turned up, and I haven't had a consistent team partner throughout the season.
Of course, yeah, that's very true. Um,
So
well, Ice Fox
again,
is
it's something that's everybody else's fault, not mine.
um, Ice Fox is your teammate tonight, who's a new lad, only just joined, but he won the Will of Doom to be a reserve. So, and I
And
am
to be my teammate.
yeah, so I am reliably informed that he's a very steady driver that will normally pick up very good points. So
Yeah, he'll be another
yeah,
one that's
good
gone
one.
next week.
maybe, maybe.
When he realises how fast Carsey and everybody else are, he's like, yes, I'll just go back to another league.
Yeah, um, yeah. So there we go. All right, that's the boring stuff out of the way. Let's get on to the only reason everybody tunes in. Let's be honest. Right, the silly questions. So, have you watched the stream or listened to this bit of the stream from the previous weeks? Because I know most people skip to the
Um,
race so they can watch the race, but you know.
no,
So you
I
don't know
haven't
what
even
we've
watched
been
the
doing.
races, to be
Okay.
fair.
What?
I
Wow.
don't win.
That's
I'm not winning, so I don't watch him.
right. Okay, that's minus 10 points. Um,
Go on. And then I'm going to have plus 20 for being so honest.
no. Right.
No,
Okay. All right. So basically, what we've been doing, I've got a series of
last
questions.
time I'm voting for you for commentator of the year.
I got a series of questions. It's quick fire. Okay, so we'll just quickly go through them.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I've got a silly question to ask you. So, but serious, as I say, quick fire now. So here we go. What is your favourite colour?
Black.
Favourite food?
Indian.
Favourite animal?
A whale.
F1 team?
F1 team.
Yep.
Mercedes.
Your favourite drink?
Alcohol or just normal?
Any?
Red Bull.
Favourite singer or band?
Um. Uh, Eminem.
Nice.
Don't listen to much music.
Fair enough. Favourite football team?
Aston Villa.
Favourite Formula One track?
Brazil.
Okay. Favourite TV show?
At the moment,
Again, it could be from past or present.
The Last of Us. Well, no. Peaky Blinders was my
Okay.
favourite.
Your favourite Doctor Who?
Don't watch it.
I've got to give up with that question. Only one person has been able to answer that. No, two. All right. Favourite Formula One driver? Again, it could be past or present.
Hamilton.
And the most important question, so just think about this before you answer it. Okay, this one doesn't have to be quick fire. Your favourites, your favourite WAOF1 admin.
Admin.
Yeah.
I only know a couple of them.
Well, there's only three of us.
So,
It's me, Whale, or
uh,
Oozers.
well then.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that doesn't hurt.
God,
At
you
all.
really wasn't
Literally
expecting me to say you.
an arrow straight through my heart. That is unbelievable. Okay. Right, quickly then to the silly questions. So, right, if you could be, so this is, you've got to tell me what you would be and why. Okay, so if you could be any shape, what would you be and why?
A fucking circle because I'm lazy and I can get around.
Just roll around everywhere. That's
Just roll around
like
everywhere.
getting up, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
You know, now I've got to watch these back. I've got to know what the shapes people
The previous
want
ones.
to be.
Oh no! Everybody's on that question. Everybody's got a different one every week. I'm already starting to sort of run out of questions. To be honest, I need to like. There's got to be a website or something I can look these silly questions up on.
Yeah. You know, quality's about to start in 15
yeah,
seconds.
I do. So, mate, thank you very much for joining me and having a quick
No
chat.
problem, mate.
Good luck for the race and the sprint. We don't have sprints that often, but good luck for the sprint today as well. And
Yeah,
you know,
nice one, mate.
just good luck, buddy. Get yourself up that those standings a little bit.
I'll try my best.
Good man, good man. See you soon.
All right,
brother.
matey. See you soon, matey. Look after yourself.
And you. Bye bye.
Try, mate. Bye, bye, bye.
Right, guys, there we go. So that was Gaza. Right, sounds like a very fun, happy person. I'm glad I spoke to him. That's good. I have spoken to Gaza before, but that was fun. I enjoyed that interview. I hope you guys did as well. We head into qualifying anyway, so the short qualifying session. We are. Oh, I forgot to ask Gaza who his rival would be. Oh no. Oh well. We're running out of options anyway, so. Well, I'll just have to find out in Discord after, I suppose. Anyway, into the short quali. Who's going to be out first? So just a reminder, again, it's short quali, sprint race, 50% race. Not sure exactly how many laps the sprint race will be. I'm guessing 11, but it could be 12. Damir joins. Yeah, so we got 19 at the moment, but it looks like Damir is the 20th, so hopefully he'll just take his car and we'll be full again, which is superb. So Moomin Rider, first out on track. Oh dear, oh dear. I've just been told, thank you John, we have rain for the main race. So that suggests that quali and sprint race will be dry, but main race, we've got rain. Is it going to be rain all the way through, or is it going to be a bit of slicks as well? I knew that was going to happen because Gaza mentioned in the interview that he hates rain in this game. So as soon as he said that, I thought you realise it's going to be raining now. Bound to, had to happen. So Moomin just coming down the straight, still first on track, so we'll go with him. I won't do the hilly hot lap with Moomin. I think we've done it at least, well, we've certainly done it once before with Moomin, and I'm pretty sure I've done it a couple of times now, so we'll wait for somebody else for that one. So Alfa Romeo's just trying to pitch just ahead, hopefully gets out of the way. Kind of. Not completely ideal, if I'm honest. But it wasn't too bad. This one looks pretty tidy. I mean, anyone that plays the F1 games or watches Formula 1 in real life, even if you don't play the games, you'll know Canada. It's been around forever, I think. So, Oh, Taylor is saying not on his screen. He's not got rain. John, are you fibbing to me? Round the hairpin. And onto the long back straight. This back straight obviously lends itself to the best overtaking opportunity of the lap. Um, the other main opportunity I think would probably be into turn 1. Both are DRS zones. Here he comes to the line. In a way, it looks like a very good starting lap. So 110.8 from Moomin to get us underway. That is a very nice opening lap. Trying to find a driver that's on their way, but it hasn't invalidated. This is Whale. Going down to the final chicane. Dorian, by the way, 112.7. John Kemper, 113.4. Whale heading for the line now as the McLaren there gets out of the way. Looks like they may have had an incident at the final corner. 111.2 from Wales, so a good start from him. Operator 113.3 goes ahead of Junkie Emperor. Lots and lots of cars out on track, which you'd expect in a short qualifying, so you just need to bear with me a little bit. Car C here is invalidated. Users. Going down again once again to the hairpin. So who's on an out lap? I think Whoopi might be just behind us. Well, it's either Whoopi or Daguna. Both Aston Martins out on track behind us at the moment. So, oh, who was that? Somebody just got disqualified from the session. That was Damir Soklovic. So he'll be starting from the back. Oozes across the line, then goes into P5 on a 112.0. Whoopi on his way down to the chicane. So that's ideal. We'll go to the car cam for him and we'll do the hilly hot lap. So DRS open, heading down to the start finish line. Keep the car to the right, down to 4th normally for turn 1. And 2nd or 3rd for turn 2. Be careful on the exit here, you don't want to be spinning it, but you need a good exit, of course it does gain you a lot of time. The chicane all about not invalidating really, it's the main thing. It's blind on the entry, so easy to invalidate as Carsey goes fastest 110.1 and through the left right. Another chicane really, that corner, it don't feel like a chicane, not a proper one. DRS here, so 3 DRS zones around Canada, down to 5th or 4th for the right left chicane. And this now will take us up all the way to the hairpin. Hard braking hairpin, and you could see people taking it in 1st, 2nd, 3rd or 4th. So Whoopi there took it in 2nd, shifted up to 3rd on exit. Probably a very clever way of doing it, that. DRS open, down the long back straight then, heading up to the final chicane. Look a little bit tentative there from Whoopi, but I think that's the last thing you want to do on your first lap is invalidate there, and it's a very good lap. 1:11.0 puts him in P3 at the moment. He's definitely got more time in that final chicane. He was definitely very tentative through there. His teammate Daguna just ahead on track, did it in 1:11.2. Reed might be on a lap. Donzo, full lobby, mate. Yeah, sorry, bud. So sorry. You'll get your chances, mate, in the future weeks. But I am sorry about that, mate. I know you were proper up for it. Yeah, Reed just had a little knock on the wall of champions. May just cost him a 10th or so before crossing the line, but still a 110.4. So a little bit different tonight, just being a short quali session. These guys, obviously on Tuesday nights, are used to doing the whole Q1, Q2, Q3 thing, but not tonight. Fair enough, Gonzo. I won't argue with that on that one, mate, because I really don't like it. I feel a bit better about it now. The last time I raced here, I was horrendous, and then I sort of took the time to really practice it after because I didn't like being that bad at it, and I improved a lot, a really big lot. So I'm a bit happier about it now, but yeah, it's the corner cutting stuff that annoys me. I pride myself on not picking up penalties a little bit, and it's none impossible around here. Dorian heading down the straight. I will be honest with you, that final chicane in qualifying here at Canada is Dorian up to P8 there, by the way, on a 111.6. I actually it's the only corner of the whole season I genuinely get nervous when I'm approaching it. I know that's ridiculous, but I do genuinely get nervous when I'm approaching that final chicane in qualifying, and after time mess it up because of it. So here's our debutant tonight, TLR Ice Fox. The Ferrari, as you can see. Oh, careful! I might have found his heart in his mouth there for a moment. It's across the line anyway, 112.9. I don't know whether he had to come off the throttle there. It wasn't the best moment from whoever that Mercedes was. It's late. Move on. Plenty of time to get another lap in yet. That 110.1 from Carsey may well be good enough for pole. Honest truth, I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat that except for possibly Reed. That's a really good timer in Canada, by the way, just to give you an idea. That's not an easy time. That would have you, well, easily in the top 4% in the world of time trial. Which means to do it in a quali session is just a completely different thing. Having said that, I'm pretty sure Carsey's time trial is about a second quicker, so which does suggest he's got more in him. You generally find people are around about 4 attempts to have it. It depends on track and the length of the track. This is quite a short track, so usually gap between time trial and qualifying would be a bit shorter, so maybe about 4 attempts. So he's definitely got more in him if he needs it, and I suspect that Reed has as well. Gaza, our interviewee tonight, went into P10. Someone's just nipped ahead of him. Oh, that was Ice Fox, his teammate for tonight, has managed to complete a second lap, and he's gone into P9. What else we got? Human invalidated, cool by the pool. Has just invalidated. It's that chicane, you see. It's a blind chicane. It's really difficult on entry. Maybe here. You should see. I haven't got a competitive time on the boards yet, but massive improvement going on already. This lap. 6 minutes qualifying left, which is a third of the session. So, maybe across the line, improves drastically, 141, keeps him in P17, but it's got a proper time on the board now, so that will help him on his final run. Judge where he's at. So, just invalidated over that corner. Unfortunately, that will mean that the next lap is invalidated as well, which is always frustrating. So, means he'll have to do another effectively do another out lap, or you're doing an in lap and get ready for a final run. I'd say he's got enough time to do another lap and still pit and come out again. Reed, I think so anyway. 5 minutes. Moving just over half a tenth up through sector 1. So, right onto the straight then, heading down to the chicane once more. .10.7 improves with just over a tenth. That will keep him P3. So it's not going to trouble Carsey or Reed, but does just consolidating a little bit from those behind him. You can see here, look, there's the Gunner, Whoopi, Jon Snow, James, Whale, Oozers even, all very, very close. And others, IceFox, Dorian, Gazard, a lot of them. Taylor, no doubt got a lot more time in him yet. This grid is just getting more and more competitive, I swear. Every league I've ever been a part of always has those one or two drivers that seem to be a bit quicker than everybody else, but we've got that here with Carsey and Reed, and we've seen Sainty as well when he drives is exceptionally quick as well. We've got a few drivers like that, but Newman's also a very quick driver. Racing Jay is usually up there. Just realised he's missing tonight, isn't he? Racing Jay. I think not missing him, am I? No. Yes, he's in Red Bull, isn't he? So Jon Snow, that must have been who the late pullout was that allowed Jon Snow to come in. Validation there from Baz. Operator first line to start a lap, so we'll go with operator. Very interesting entry for turn 2. Currently PB in a moment on 113.3. Just to say that, I missed the sector 1 split. Under the bridge. And just coming up to the end of sector 2 now. So yeah, 4 attempts down on this run. We'll move on then. Final chicane, but not improving. He's on an out lap actually, to be fair to him. Right, let's go to... Right, so Reed just building up to start a lap now. IceFox tyres. A few retirements going on, moving IceFox. Daniel was already disqualified. Nice. And a bit of time on the wall, just clips the wall on the exit of the hairpin. And he was gaining some time, but whether that's cost him. Remember back on his actual lap, he clipped the Wall of Champions as well. I'm surprised that didn't invalidate, but it hasn't. And he's keeping it to the right, which tells us it is an improvement. It's a 4/10 improvement. 110.0. I hadn't noticed actually that Carsi had gone into the 109, so 109.9. What a lap from Reed there. And what a lap from Carsi. I think he's out now. He can't be having another go. He can't make it. He must be going into the pits. Oh no. Maybe coming around to start another go. No, not enough time left. Oh, don't listen to me. He was on a hot lap. Okay, 109.7 from Carsi. Just takes a biscuit, really. James onto a 110.9. Whoopi crosses line 110.6. Taylor is stopped. Who's this on a lap? There's a Haas, actually. I think Junkie on his way down to the final corner. Comes round then. Line improves by 3 tenths. That has him in P14. And Dorian invalidates in the final chicane there. Somebody just jumped up. Was it well up to P5, 110.9? Anybody else actually still on a lap? Taylor's in all sorts of trouble. So, there we have it. There is the short qualifying completed. Well done to Carsi on yet another pole position this season. And Reed in P2. But of course, they're not effectively, that's not pole position in P2. That's starting first and second for the sprint race. The sprint race will, of course, actually decide the pole position. Whoopi 3 then, 4th for Moomin, Whale in 5, James 6th. Very good qualifying from James, nice job, lad. Cool by the Pool 7th, Oozers 8th. Superb from Oozers, P8, get on. The Gooner in 9th, Jon Snow 10, Taylor 11, Gaza 12, Ice Fox in 13, Junkie Emperor 14, Dorian, Baz, Operator Davey, Freeman, and Damir Soklovic. Don't know if there's, couldn't get the instance in, I'm afraid. There we go. Well, there'll be a quick break before we start the sprint. So please do not ready up. Surprised with P3 Whoopi. You've already got that sort. You've always got that sort of qualifying in you, mate. So it's a very good lap at the end to beat Moomins. So yeah, you should be happy with that one, mate. I think. Some very competitive times out there, but without that, I think the performance. Well, 2 performances of the day in qualifying there. 3. Let's say 3. I think I've got to give to Oozers for P8. Obviously, Carsi for the top time. And James as well. Okay, Taylor. Okay, so Taylor's going to have to switch to using his spare controller because his brakes stopped working. A nightmare. Right, guys, as I say, there's going to be a quick break, so I'm just going to quickly grab myself a coffee and I'll be straight back. See you in a moment. Right, guys, back with you just in time by the looks of it. Taylor, if that's why you had to retire on track, buddy, I think we'll probably. Well, I won't say that we will let it go because obviously it's up to the others as well. And technically, I'm not actually a steward anymore, so I probably wouldn't have anything to do with it. But yeah. Right, just check the tyres. Everybody using mediums. No real surprise on that, for as Freeman just joins. Yeah, no real surprise on that. You need mediums to do the 12 laps. Softs don't make it. Hards are a bit overkill for 12 laps, so yeah. And well, we're a little unsure as to whether, because John seems to think that it is raining, but Taylor said on his screen that it's not, so which tells me that, well, probably forgot to put it on approximate. It is simply going to be a sprint. So 20 cars on the track. It's a very tight first sector around it. Well, first sector and the start of the second sector really are very tight. So hopefully all 20 managed to get through okay. We'll have to see. Take my phone off of the Wi-Fi, but here we go then. Just coming round. See, the guys at the front don't particularly want to get stuck on the grid slots for too long, but ultimately there's always going to be a gap between P1 and P20. As Oozer's, at the moment, the only one to have missed his grid slot. Yeah, so it looks like he is the only one. Looks like the part's up at the back. I think Damir is just coming in. Oh no, Davy's missed it as well. So Oozer's and Davy, P8 and P18. So back the 8s there. So as we get ready to go. The way Carsey's pointed his car over towards Reed. And out they go. And Carsey gets a good start. The Aston Martin of Whoopi off to a great start. And looks like he's taken the lead into turn 1. It's a nice side by side there, and it does look like Whoopi's got the lead. Driving Whoopi in another lead. He is an immense starter. Crazy how well he starts all the time. Actually having a bit of flashbacks going on with the battling that he was doing with Racing J last season. Racing J constantly jumping him at the start of races with his race start. So let's get the positions back up then. So yeah, so Whoopi P1, Carsey P2, Reed 3, Moomin stays in 4, WAOF5, Daguna 6. As Reed runs out wide, may become vulnerable to Moomin here. Didn't. But the high line does give you a decent amount of grip, but it is the slower way around the corner. So, oh, big crash! It's Jon Snow. That was a strange one. So I can only assume that somebody tagged his rear wheel. Then it's hard to say. Didn't actually see it happen, but Damir is into the pits, so maybe that's our answer, but remarkably, John's managed to carry on. He hasn't got any damage from that. Doesn't look like he has, actually, which is incredible. He absolutely smashed the wall. So... stunning curtsy, no thank you. There we go, that's that sorted. So Whoopi remains P1 at the moment, but Carsey really attacking the back of him. Obviously, next time round, you'll have the DRS to help. For the moment, oh, Whoopi's just gotten a little bit wide on the exit, the chicane. This is going to allow Carsey to get close into turn 1. He remains on the inside for turn 2, but the higher line will give the better exit. And up into P1 goes Carsey. Oh, no, Whoopi, he's gotten, oh no! He's gotten out of shape. It's hit Reed as well. And Whoopi's been given a 5-second penalty for that. To just be fair, Reed's going to be a bit angry about it in his mind at the moment, I'd imagine, but, you know, it was Whoopi ultimately. He did just lose it. It wasn't. He didn't do anything silly. He just made a mistake. And Newman appears to have done as well. And he drops down to P16. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Oozers, but he's down to P17. So a lot of movement going on. Freeman, unbelievably, is up to P18. Sorry, P8 even. Ice Fox now in P5. That's enabled Whale as well up into P2, so position changes. Yeah, that's why I mentioned Freeman. He's up 11 places, look. Let's go to the other camera. We've got a good little group of cars here. Penalties beginning to be picked up as well, by the way. So Daguna's picked one up. Taylor has picked one up. Whoopi, we saw in a way. Picked up the 5 seconds. Users gets ahead of Operator further down. So much to play for around this track, even if you don't have a good sprint here and find yourself starting towards the back like Moomin might end up doing, or John or anyone. Oh, damn here. Everything to play for. If you keep yourself penalty free in the actual race, the 50% race, you may well jump some places at the end of it. Very easy to pick up pens around here. And that there was James. Moving up into P6. He's doing a nice job, but Freeman as well, getting ahead of Gaza on the straight. So I don't think Gaza had DRS then. By the Pool becomes the latest to pick up a penalty. See this group, it's been led by Ice Fox, but I just noticed on the back of Gaza, Baz is closing up as well, and Baz has already got Whoopi and Reed on the back of him. So this is going to turn into a 7-car train very quickly. Amir now picks up a penalty. So James not close enough to Ice Fox to do anything, but he does have DRS, so actually makes it very difficult for those behind him to do anything as well. Freeman seems to have an overspeed. He's coming up outside into turn 1. So does that very nicely indeed. No contact between the two. Very nice move from Freeman. It's been good for him this evening. And he's going to get after Ice Fox now. See, that's Baz then, so he has caught onto the back. And he now has Reed behind him. And he's gotten ahead of Whoopi. I just know exactly where to watch to see the next overtake. It's let's see if Reed takes that high line again. So you might try and get a sort of switch back here on Baz. got a run on him. He has indeed. And let's Reed back into P9. Nice overtake there from Reed on Baz as Taylor gets ahead of Gooner. They're still side by side. Gooner has the inside. Oh, and they've made contact. And into the wall they go. We've already got a yellow flag is set to 3, although that's cleared now. No idea what damage has come of that. It looks like Taylor's car's okay. The Gooner doesn't have a front wing. He will have to pit. Yeah, this track would be a nightmare with no front wing, so it's going to have to come in. So, looks to me like that may well be one that would need to be investigated by stewards. Ice Fox on the back of the Gooner here. He'll obviously go past him with... Well, mind you, the Gooner probably won't be that slow in a straight line without a front wing. And he's going to take to the pitch, you would assume. He has to. Yeah. Into the pits he goes. Here is Reed making a move on Gaza and the outside, so that's up into P7 now. He makes his way back up the field to try and make good from a bad situation, and I think ultimately he'd probably be, although he'd have been maybe a bit angry in a moment of when the accident happened, he probably be pretty pleased, or maybe feel a little bit lucky that he didn't have damage from the incident. And that's another move from him, getting past James. James also loses out to Gaza. Speed now back up into P6. Oh, it looks like James, a bit of oversteer or attack from behind, and it's going to leave him vulnerable. Oh, goodness me. Well, it's actually left Baz vulnerable to Whoopi, who's gotten past. Back then. So lap 9. Deep into the sprint now. And there are still so many battles going on that we could watch. Unfortunately, I can only show you one at a time. So here we go. Oh, seems to let off a little bit there, Whoopi. Perhaps didn't want to make the move there. Perhaps he wants to wait for the DRS on the back straight, but James is going to get it as well. So see, there's a real train which is going on behind Ice Fox, but nobody's got even close to overtaking him at any point yet. He may be causing a bit of train behind him, but he's... You can see, that's the closest I've seen anyone to the back of the Ferrari. Oh, and Freeman gets caught! I don't know who that was by. I think it might have been Reed, but I'm not 100% sure, guys, so... What it's meant is that the other Ferrari of Gaza has ended up in P5 behind his teammates, so he can help protect his teammate now, maybe. Mind you, he'd be much more interested in protecting himself from Reed, but having said that, Reed's got a penalty, so it's not that important now, in the sense that Gaza will be able to jump in even if he does get past, as long as he stays pen free. That's very close to Whoopi, by the way. Here we are. Is he going for it? No. Kind of. Yeah, Whoopi left lots of room, I have to say. Was Whoopi being very generous with the amount of room he just left on the inside there, but Oh, and that's a Ferrari round. That's Gaz around on. He's out. Oh no. That's Gaz out. He was doing exceptionally well. Well, both Ferraris were doing exceptionally well. He's ended up round at turn 1, and I believe he was clipped from behind. And then I think the cars following up have ended up not being able to avoid him. Everybody was so close together at that point. Junkie now picks up a penalty. So many penalties now. We can have a quick look at those. We're close to the end. Sprint as De Gooner is disqualified from the session. So parked on a dangerous location. As close as its fastest lap. Freeman making a move then on James. James gets out of shape and hits the wall, and I think that's Whoopi. Is it Whoopi? Oh no, it's the disqualified car of De Gooner. So, well, it's certainly been an extremely eventful sprint race. And I think let's go up to the front now. So, Carsey here is going to take the sprint race by over 10 seconds. He's set the fastest lap as well. I think once that incident happened between Whoopi and Reed, it's enabled Carsey to just move away and build a gap. But of course, it's just a sprint. He'll pick up the 8 points for that, but the big points are available in the race. Whale is going to take a fantastic P2 in the sprint. Taylor will cross the line in P3, and he will stay there at the moment, as he has more than a 3-second gap to Icefox, who on debut has done extremely well to take P4 on the sprint. Baz moves ahead of Reed because of penalties, so Baz 5, Reed 6, Freeman in 7, James I think is going to end up 8th. Oozer's in 9th, just misses out on a point. Junkie Emperor 10, Dorian 11, Jon Snow in 12, Whoopi 13, Moomin 14, Cool by the Pool 15. Lots of crashing going on over the line. It seems to be the done thing these days. Davey will come across the line in P16. Operator 17. And Damir Soklovic in 18. So unlucky for Gaza. And we'll start P19 and P20 for Daguna. Disqualified. So I don't know which one. Well, okay. Oh no, I think I know which one. Say that. All right, well, you know, it is what it is. Crashes happen. It's only the sprint. Let's move on. I think if there's one track where people starting down further down the order can make things up, Canada is definitely one of them. This would be high on the list of tracks where you can really make time up. Okay. Sorry, I didn't scroll through the instance. Apologies as well. Usually do. Right, guys. So, well, there's going to be a break now, the usual break before the race. But as you can see, it's going to be different again for the race, as it is absolutely levering it down. Which is going to change things completely. So we'll move on to that in a moment. But guys, I'm just going to grab myself yet another coffee. So, grab yourselves a cup of tea, beer, whatever it is you want, and a glass of wine. And I'll be back with you shortly. Right, guys, back with you for the main feature race, and which, as you can see, is absolutely tipping down. So, just double checking. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so the top 18 drivers are all on the full wets. P19 and P20, Gaza and Gunner, neither of which should be down there, of course, but due to incidents in the sprint, they've ended up starting that far down, but as James is disqualified. They both opted for intermediate tyres, so that tells us that this track is due to dry up, or get drier at least, to the stage of inters. What they are doing is taking a bit of a gamble to see if they can stay close enough to the guys on a full wets by the time it dries up that they can get an advantage by not needing to pit. So time will also tell as well, of course. So what I'm guessing is that we may be going from full wet to intermediate to dry, and so what Gaz and Daguna are trying to do is to try and negate that first pit stop so they don't have to take it, and obviously hope that they stay close enough to the cars ahead of them that they, even if they can't jump everybody, at least jump a good amount of them. It is definitely full wet tyre weather, the blue wheel tyre. You can see the standing water, so the puddles on the track, which is a real indication that it is full wet time. So come round then to line up on the grid. Just waiting for the last couple of drivers. A few disqualifications just mean they start slightly further back in the grid slots, compromising them for the starts. Oh dear. Oh dear. I think we got a problem, guys. I think we need to restart. So lobby restart. Lobby restarts. Any drivers listening, it is a lobby restart. I will leave that. Okay, guys, everyone, it is a lobby restart. Any drivers that may have the commentary on. We knew that was happening. As soon as they reached the grid, there was immediately drivers in the Discord, before the lights had gone out or anything, drivers in the Discord saying it's gone strange, they can't, nothing's happening, they've lost control, all that sort of thing. So this will indeed be a lobby restart. So there we go, guys. And anybody's watched my streams, you will have seen lobby restarts before. They can take a little while. We'll be as quick as we can, obviously, but just bear with us. As it's a wet race, this is a bit of luck for some drivers, because some drivers will have set up dry, and they can change that. Although they might want to be dry, because if the track is drying up as you go, then obviously they may want a dry setup in a way. But yeah, it's Yeah. Looks like people have been kicked out of the game as well, and everybody suddenly wants Canada dry. We said that for years. Um, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. So yeah, the weather will be the same as it was. So do have to sometimes. Mm. John's there. I think Freeman just got in. Who's having the issue? Whoopee, let me see. I'll send you an invite. See if that does anything. You're on the main menu. It says. Oh, I'm absolutely roasting. Whew. Yeah. So we know there is some drivers having a bit of trouble getting in, guys. So just makes it a bit awkward as well. Can't really do the grid until we've got the drivers in. You could get it sort of half done. Whether you've got 16, we know Whoopi can't get in. So he's having 17 now. Dorian's just gotten in. Who are we missing? We know Washley Whoopi. Yeah, somebody getting this silly message that comes up. Oh, Reed's gotten in. Okay, so Reed's gotten in. So it's just a case of Whoopi, just keep trying, man. There we go. Whoopi's in. Okay, guys. Yeah. So make sure you got your cars, please. Dorian, put your car, Dorian. Dorian. Dorian, put your car. There he goes. He's in the Williams now. Dorian's like, I was getting a drink. Okay, so everybody's in. Obviously, Mr. Whale will do the grid, and well, he's readied up, so I assume who's is typing. So I think this is going to be the ready up. Right, guys. So don't forget your setups or your strategies, blah blah blah, etc. etc. Fuel, all that stuff. So see the big rain cloud. I doubt. Well, we'll see if anybody see what they do on tires this time, but I can't imagine it'd be the same as last time. Just waiting to get in. Obviously, guys, there's going to be a little break, just to for people to do their setups, etc. Any drivers listening, don't press the button. Just wait for an admin to press it. Right, back to my streaming away. Anybody been chatting in here? Um, wet, wet, wet. Don't say stuff like that to the operator. I'll start singing in a minute. Again, just yeah, it's quite strange. Yeah, you're right, John. The servers has definitely been worse since the game's gone to Game Pass. Well, just obviously busier, aren't they? It makes it worse. Um, yep. So anyway, well. Hopefully everybody's sorted, and we'll just be able to do the race. So there's not a lot. If anybody does have any issues, if anybody does disconnect or any problems, just try and get yourselves back in. There's not, don't shout at admins. There's not a lot we can do. We need to get the race going. You know, if you want, write a letter of complaint, but don't write it to me. Write it to Oozers, write it to Whale, not me. Or even better, write it to EA or Codemasters, whichever one you prefer, or both. All I'm really trying to get across is if you want to make a complaint, don't do it to me. Okay. Oh, you know that bloated feeling when you've eaten too much dinner. That's how I feel right now. A big balloon that's full up or something, full of water. What did I even have for dinner? I can't even remember what I had for dinner. Oh, steak. I had steak and chips. And corn on the cob. With mushrooms and onions. Very nice. I have to say. Very, very nice. I had to eat 4 corn on the cob though, because I did 2 each for me and Dad, and he ate a steak of chips and mushrooms and onions and that, and then didn't want the corn on the cob, so they're only the mini ones, by the way. I didn't eat 4 of the massive corn on the cob along with steak, chips, onions and mushrooms. Not that bad. Oh, I lost one viewer talking about me dinner. Sorry about that, viewer.
Right.
He must have been hungry. I made him hungry and he's had to disappear. Right. The countdown is on. We are getting ready to go at a very, very wet Canada. So I don't really know about the weather. I don't know if it's going to dry up. My suspicion is that it will. At least to the stage of intermediates, but I don't know if it will go to full dries eventually. We will have to wait and see on that one. Predictive strategy says 1 stop wet to wet, or 2 stops of wet. But if it was wet all race, nobody in their right mind will be 2 stopping. It would be 1 stops all the way through. Oh, Davey's gone with inters, so one driver's going to try it. But he might find he struggles there a little bit. When you're doing your customised weather options, you don't really get... Basically, all you get is, I think it's 4 slots for the whole race, and you've got to put wherever you want it: full wet, intermediate wet, dry, or overcast. And get comfy. Yeah, that's like the only options you get, so which I think is why... What's shame for Gaz and Laguna? That would have been so interesting as well, seeing the back 2 drivers starting on intermediates. That would have been really interesting for us as viewers. But not to be. Doesn't seem like very much has gone for Gaza and Laguna today, does it? After that sprint race, and then what could have been an absolute master strategy has been ripped off of them because of the blowing servers. And I mean, it could have been an absolute terrible strategy as well, so you know, they might have been saved, you never know. Obviously, of all tracks where you actually try and do something like that, Canada probably isn't one of the most advisable ones to do it on, because the pit stop around here is so short. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's the shortest pit stop of the season in Canada. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. It's only something like 16 seconds or something silly like that, 16, 17 seconds. So, we're lined up once again. Please, EA servers, let's be okay. It's all happening. Lights are coming on. That's good. Let's get rid of that again. He's still pointing his car over to our left, but not as aggressively as in the dry. But Wells off to an absolute stonking start. Obviously, he has the host advantage. And the Alpha Tauri as well. So a really good start, but Kelsey does manage to hold on to P2 at least for the moment. And so far, we're okay down the field. No, there's a spun McLaren. I suspect that's probably Davey. No, it wasn't. I apologise, Davey, for saying that. It's Moomin. I was just assuming Davey because he's on intermediates. As these guys are going proper side by side, no allowing a bit. Oh, and that's Williams off Dorian into the wall. His right, his left rear tagged. But he continues on, so he's still in the race. And that was is that an Alpha Tauri, I think, of Damir going across the curb, across the corner. Moomin is well off. I couldn't. Yeah, I think he's missing his right end plate on his front wing. So, anyway, back to the front guys. So Carsey has taken P1 back off a whale. Setting fastest lap while doing it. Of course, his first lap, so first driver would be fastest. And into the pits is Dorian, who we saw hit the wall. Presumably needs a new wing. Just to mention, Davies doing alright. He's P15. He's just gotten ahead of Oozers, actually. Oh. He was... Well, no, he's just recovered. I think him and Oozers may have had a bit of contact or something. Yeah, he's not doing so well, actually. Struggling. So I don't know. Either him and Oozers had a bit of contact, or Oozers was just off track himself. But no, Davey looks like he's really struggling as Damir goes past him. So clearly not even close at the moment. So that's sort of intermediate tyre weather. The guys that pitted first lap didn't do any stops to inters, they've gone to wets. So that would probably be the best idea we get of how Davies getting on, is how quickly the guys behind him catch him. I may have to just back out of this and come in for a set of wets. I'm not convinced it's going to work for him this. Comes in for a set of wets, he may get out ahead of Boomin, but then maybe he's his teammates, so we don't really care about that. So this is the gap between first and second at the moment. So Carsey is that flashing red light ahead of us. And we're on with well. But these two off to a fantastic start, having picked up 2.6 seconds to Taylor, who's still got the Ferrari of IceFox on his back. Let's have a quick look at position changes. Our biggest gainers off at the start then. Whoopi up 7 places. Gaz and Daguna both up 7 places. So far they're our biggest gainers. Biggest loss of position so far is joint between Dorian and Oozers, who have both dropped 6 places. To show you, look at there, when we first went onto Freeman you couldn't even see the flashing red light on the car ahead, let alone the fact that there was a car there. Put yourself a bit as you go down the straight. But, once they brake for a corner they turn into like a ball of spray. And all I can say to you guys is that if you drive in cockpit view, it's 10 times worse than this. So, like I do, it is so much worse. You can't see a thing, but it's fun. So, we'll see if we can find any actual proper battles. Things do look like they've settled down a little bit. John getting pretty close to the back of Junkie Emperor here. It's difficult. I did see Oozer said in chat that driving with no TC, so no traction control in the rain, is so tough. And yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It is a skill all in itself. It's one thing learning no traction in dry conditions, it's quite another thing in the wet. But again, it's very rewarding. What should do? John just a bit off the back there. Gets very close to Ice Fox as he's looking to make his way back through the field. Drivers picking up penalties. I think these conditions, I don't know whether they'll aid drivers not picking up penalties or make it even worse for them. It could go either way, to be quite honest. It probably helps some drivers and not others, as Whoopi is on the inside of Reed and seems to back out of that. I wonder if that was a little, yeah, I'll back out of this one after a crash in the sprint. So, front two at the moment, absolutely dominating. RC got a couple of seconds now to Whale, but well, in turn 4.5 seconds ahead of Taylor in P3, and very, very well indeed. We do, just in case you didn't realise, but this is a massive train of cars here. So P5 is the Ferrari of Ice Fox, and this has taken us all the way down to Baz in P10, so 6 cars in this train, and then just behind Baz is James, who's only 1.5 seconds back, so not much of a gap there. I always remember from my younger years watching Formula 1 that Murray Walker always used to call the rain the great leveller. Oh, as Ice Fox gets a moment! He's oversteered into the wall. Oh, unlucky Ice Fox. Teammate Gaza would have just gone past. But, that was just getting on the power while it's wet. Every single time you push the accelerator, there's a chance that might happen to you. If you're a no traction driver. Even medium traction in these conditions is tricky. So, still tight here between Reed and Whoopi. Reed's obviously been released by Ice Fox's spin as Whoopi picks up a few seconds. Oh, goodness me. Whoopi did really well there to keep that car going. Gone on the grass. These two side by side. Reed has the higher line that normally leads itself to a better traction and exit, and that allows him to be ahead when they reach the chicane. Couple of drivers into the pits. Let's get onto the tyres then. See, okay, Daguna and Ice Fox into the pits, and they have switched to intermediates. My initial thinking is that it's too early. So unless they're doing that because they had damage, I don't think they're going to gain from that at this moment in time. Going by the... purely by just the way it looks, the amount of standing water still on the track. If you can actually see puddles like that on the game, that is generally means that it is full wet conditions. So all we could do really is keep an eye on their times. So operator gets past Oozers. P12. And cool by the pool. Right then, you have a bit of contact with two of them. It looked like they did. It sounded like they did. Whoopi into the pits. There's more going on to Inters. Cool by the pool's gone to Inters. Ice Fox to Gunner, and Whoopi now is on to Inters. I still think it's out too early. The Gunner is catching Oozers, but to be fair, No offence to us, but he has been struggling a little bit with the conditions. I think Gaza to Whoopi will be the best opportunity for us to really gauge whether the inters are faster. We'll soon know, because when the leaders come past the pits, in fact they're coming up to the pits, so let's see what Carsey does. It does look a little bit drier, doesn't it? There's definitely still puddles there, but it does look a little bit drier. And yeah, Whoopi's already closing the gap to Gap. I think it's time for inters. Yeah, overrule what I said about the puddles, because Whoopi is gradually bringing the gap down to Gaza, and Gaza is now in. So he fits the inters. And I think we'll be seeing an exodus into the pits on the next lap. I don't... I mean, it's such a hard one to call. And if the inters are better now, they're not better by very much. It's a tiny little bit, but just looking at the gap between James and Whoopi, and it's not really changing. It's currently at 11.8. So it was just over 12, so it has come down a little bit. Whale is into the pits, so he's the first of the front runners to react. Taylor is in. So, yeah, that gap between James, though, is on full wets, and Whoopi, 11.9, 12 now, so it's actually gone up slightly. Now, the guys who pitted have kind of ruined the gap a little bit, so I can't see now. That's Whoopi there in the background that you can see coming up the straight. So, well, I can only assume then that Whale must have needed a new front wing, because Taylor has jumped him in the pit stops. So Whale must have needed a new front wing. That's John. Oh, missed it, I think. Yeah, John gets past Junkie Emperor. Let's go sit on board with Junkie and see if he gets an opportunity to come back. But yeah, it's a little bit lost with gaps now. I don't know about the tyres now because I can't see the gaps. Well, Carson's just pumped in the fastest lap of the race. But again, and he's on the full wets. But again, that could be a suggestion that the track's drying a little bit that's enabled him to do that. So do his way and see, really. It's not Baz pits. He picks up another penalty. I think he's got a fuel ready. Gives the barrier a clip. We'll have a quick look, but I don't think that didn't look hard enough that it was going to cause any damage or anything, and it hasn't. He's got a bit out of shape there, so well, maybe, just maybe, that these guys have jumped early, you know. The gap now between James and Taylor. It's about 9 1/4 as we've got a retirement. Ice Fox is out. And our think that's in the pits, you know. No, it's not in the pits, is he? That's Ice Fox just there, isn't it? Oh, cool, what a pull. It's out of shape. Well, I don't know, I'm getting all confused now. No, the Ferrari we were looking at was Gaza, so no, I think Ice Fox retired in the pits, I'm not sure why. But there we go. So, Whoopi's caught Whale. Into the heavy braking left-hander. Just lose the session. So, it's Carsey again sets fastest lap, still on the full wets. So the latest gap we've got really that we can look at here, Moomin and Daguna is a 4.8 second gap, but also Taylor on the back of Jon Snow, 15.8 seconds at the moment. This track does not appear to be trying well with any pace in a way. And while it's like this and the times, you know, the gaps are staying pretty stagnant, you can't blame people for staying in the wets, because ultimately, if a safety car was to come, they'd be able to pit under the safety car and retain their positions. As it is right now, it would be really close between Jon Snow and Taylor if John was to pit, so it would be really, really tight. So there's no doubt at all that the guys that have stayed out on the wet tyres have gained an advantage here. And Whoopi continues to make his way through the field. He's got serious pace at the moment. He's also got serious penalties, so you know he can only do what he can do. As Freeman finally pits, he's one of the front runners that stayed out, and as I say, for me, he's going to come out ahead of Taylor easily. Taylor's just coming out of the final chicane. That's the line where Freeman can accelerate, so you can see just about in the background, dots in the background. This has worked for the guys that stayed on wets, the patient ones, the ones that stayed patient. It's almost like the weather dummied everyone by making them feel like it was going towards intermediates and then getting slightly worse again as Whoopi makes another overtake in the rain and moves into P5. It stops happening further down now as Moomin and Oozers are into the pits. Oh, Oozers has put on a fresh set of wets. Unless he knows something we don't, I'm not sure that's going to work for him. And Carsey is in. Carsey is in. Reed follows him. What about John? John has continued on. So I'm not sure. Is he going to take the lead of the race? Don't think he quite will. I think Carsey's going to get it. Yeah, there's Carsey getting out. So John will move into P2 for a bit. And that's... who's that Mercedes? Is that cool by the pool? It is. So that's a lapped car. It's, yeah. Yeah, so almost the whole field now onto the Inters. John's still out there in P2 at the moment. And just trying to count down 9.6, 11, 6, 12, 3-ish. 15.3, yeah, so the gap to Taylor, well, it's now Whoopi, not Taylor, it's now 15.3, so he is going to need, I think he needs to stop now, I mean, there's no doubt Whoopi is absolutely blisteringly fast on in these conditions, so he's absolutely flying out there as Whoopi. To be fair to him, as I say, he's definitely picked up a lot of penalties, but we'll see. We're going to ruin that, for the end of the race. We'll wait to see. Azuzer's picks again for intermediates, so that will have hurt his race. I can only assume he's gone onto the wrong tyres. He must have meant to go onto inters rather than full wets. And that just shows you how fast Whoopi is going as he sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:22. So we're only just coming up to halfway through this race, so the way we're going, I would suggest there is a chance that we will go to slicks before the end, but can't guarantee it. I'll stick with this for now. But Whale, well, he's going to wonder what's happened. He's dropped from P2 before the pit stops, and he's now, he is P8. There's no, the only car ahead of him still to pit is Jon Snow, and if John pits, he'd come out well in front of Whale, so Whale will definitely be wondering what on earth, or how on earth this happened, to be honest. It's a very strange moment as John picks himself up 3 seconds. That's what you don't want to be doing. Got himself into a great position. Don't want to pick up silly penalties now. Obviously, what comes into John's mind now is if this track's going to fully dry and go to slicks at some point, does he try and stay on the wets until then? Well, in my experience, that doesn't work. So, to be honest, I think he should have come in about 3 laps ago. But, see how he gets on. So 1 and 2 yellows just ahead of us on track, and it was for that car. I don't know who that was. Yeah, it's McLaren behind it. Yeah, so I think it was the McLaren then moving out the way. This battle between Junkie Emperor and Whale. So sticking with this one, guys, this is our only close battle at the moment. There's a couple that are just over a second away from each other, but this is the only one within a second, so it's worth sticking with it. What a day. It's becoming for Red Bull at the moment. P2 and P3 they're running. And it's obviously major for the constructors. And when you consider the driver that isn't here for Red Bull tonight is Racing J, the fact they've still done so well is brilliant. Obviously, you can't be sure yet just how well it's going to work out for Jon Snow. He's now, I'm just looking now, 4.8. That's just a McLaren moving out the way for someone. Nobody's crashed or anything with that yellow flag. So yeah, sorry, John, 2.8, 4.5, say. Yeah, look, the gap to Whoopi is now 7.7 seconds. It's halved since the last time I counted it. There's no doubt whatsoever that John on those wets is just, he's so on the wrong tyre now. just trying to look down. One. If he pitted now, I think he'd come out about P9. Yeah, ahead of Baz. So it's such an hard decision to make. If he pits to inters, drops down to P9, and you might only do 4 or 5 laps, and it might brighten up. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Such a horrible situation to be in as John lets his teammate through. So Freeman through. It's better Wets are feeling it as well, though. It's not just the fact that they're the wrong tyre now. They're probably feeling it quite a lot on the old wear. It's not like last year's game where you could get through the whole race on inters or wets with absolute ease every time. And that is a spinner this time. Is it cool? It is cool by the pool. Just having a horrible one today. So it's the wall. There's Reed. So if he can, John wouldn't mind helping his teammate by causing a gap. But that might be the first. Well, no, actually, Reed should know that John's on wets by the stand-ins on his left. And there we go. That's his lead into P3. Whoopi will be next. So remember earlier on, I said if he pits now, he'll come out ahead of Whoopi, or almost on top of him, pretty much. I said in an eye, and he's, you know, Whoopi is now 1.8. Well, that is John just ahead there. That's the Red Bull of John. So maybe in hindsight, I think he's trying to hold out until it's dry enough for slicks. I think that's what he's trying to do now. Just looking at the track, there's definitely a racing line appearing. So I think that's what John's trying to do. It shows that sometimes maybe it's beneficial to have the commentator on in the background to sum up, because if you'd have heard, you could have made the stop. So, look at those penalties now. All bar 3 drivers. So, at this point in the race, I'm going to give a shout out to James, Gaza, and Operator. None of who have penalties. So, there are only 3 drivers who haven't picked up a penalty so far today. And my driver today, by the way, that I select, I only ever select drivers who don't have a penalty, you know, that are penalty free. So everybody knows that. And so at the moment, I only have a choice of 3. Goodness knows what I'll do if they all 3 of them pick up a penalty as well. I'm not quite sure what I'll do. Okay, so anyway, I'll give myself driver a day. Is that it? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we had a practice race beforehand, and I won the practice race. Just to mention that, just so everybody knows that the commentator can actually drive a car as well, doesn't just commentate. I mean, I wouldn't have won it if everybody stayed in it, and you know, but I was winning when everybody else retired and we stopped. I was leading on beautiful soft tyres. So. John now has dropped to P5. Reed getting on to the back of Freeman, which may well end up being a battle for P2. So John dropped the P5. The first time for a little while, he's actually got a bit of a gap. He's got a car, wants to unlap himself here. Dorian, I think. It's, John can't afford to slow down and let him through, because look at that. There's definitely a dry line appearing. It's actually a really good view for us right now to be able to see track. So it's definitely a dry line appearing, but it's definitely still raining. So it's a bit awkward. hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully Dorian can get out of this corner in lead and just disappear then. Yeah, it looks like he can. That's good news. We don't want to be putting each other off, but John can't, as I said, he couldn't afford to slow down to let him by, because there's no reason why he should in a way, but there's obviously he's got Taylor. Well, he's got Taylor, he's got Chunky, he's got Whale. Ooh. Whale is in. I was just about to move to him because he got really close to the back of Chunky, but he's in. Surely this isn't for slicks yet, is it? No, it's a fresh set of inters. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really surprised at that. I don't really understand why he's done that. They can't need to pit again for a new set of inters, surely. Surely these inters that they pit to earlier on will get to the end of the race. They don't lose a lot of time, so I'm really surprised that Wells done that, but we'll see if it works out for him. Long way to go yet, as Taylor has now caught the back of John. Absolutely trying his best, but ultimately he has lost out now, because there was that point earlier on where he could have pitted and still come out. I believe he would have come out in P4, so at worst it would have been P5, so he's now in P5, so he could have been on the correct tyres and well up the road from where he is now, I believe. It's, there's that battle ahead, look. He's going to have Junkie straight onto the back of him as well. Drops to 7th, but it's... yeah, fair play to him. He's giving everything he can. He's trying his best, but I can only assume he's trying to stay out until it goes to dry weather. But the fact that Wells pitted for a new set of inters and he didn't change his wing, so the fact that Wells pitted to a new set of inters makes me think it's not going to dry up. At the end of this lap, it'll be 10 laps remain, so yeah, I think ultimately John's going to be left looking back at this race as what could have been. But anyway, let's get out to Reed, who's really on the back of Freeman. Obviously, we know as well picks up 3 seconds. We know this race is going to be really affected by penalties at the end. But I still don't want to bring them up this early because it could potentially ruin battles that we're watching up to the end. So I don't want to ruin those. And we'll keep watching the battles. So this is well then having pitted now on the back of Gaza. So clearly by pitting onto fresh inters, he has clearly gained a lot of pace. Just trying to remember where he was. I think he was P8, wasn't he? P8 or the P9? I think it was P8 when he pitted. So he's got a bit of work to do as James moves into P7, John now down to P8. Here comes Whale then at the inside of Gaza. Head down to turn 1. Gaza will have the inside of turn 2. Careful. It's alright. Well, might get a better exit on the high line. Not an ideal place to be able to make a move anyway. I think he's just going to have to hold on and make it in the next safe place. Nice tree blocking the view there. Really, with the new grip, the places Wales likely to see drastic sort of improvement on what Gaz is able to do is at the slow corners. Has got a yellow flag. Looks like a Mercedes. I think it was called by the pool. Yeah, it must have been. Operator's not losing any time to the car ahead of him, so got a little run there, did well, but I think he had to ease off. He's going to have a go at the outside this time into turn 1, which will give him the inside of turn 2. So difficult. Really, really difficult around here. I think... oh, no. I thought he had it, but I think Gaza just got a better exit again. And I think that's a safety car. Call by the pool is out. That's bad. So where is he? He's just here. He's ended up round. Oh, careful. I don't know whether Freeman realises how close he just comes to taking his wheel off then. Gonna get another view? No, looks like they cleared it just before we got to see him again. I don't know how he's managed to crash there. That's a new one. It's caused a safety car. It's going to bunch everybody back up. We're going to have fresh tyres for some, not for others, I'd imagine. Anybody who's got a multiple of 5 seconds may as well get rid of 5 seconds off their penalties. So... well, wow, okay. So Whoopi was able to pit for fresh inters. Now we know he has been immensely quick getting through the field in these conditions. The fact, well, Reed needs to pit. Carsey can pit and still come out P1. So but he's on the safety car, so he can't now. Or can he? Yeah, he probably can. I don't know. Probably quite tight, actually. Surely, yeah, he is going to come in. Has to. So I think he will get out again ahead of Freeman if Freeman continues. So I think Freeman may as well pit, and Reed surely will pit. Actually, Freeman might get Carsey, so Freeman might take the... yeah, he has taken the lead of this race. But Carsey's got fresh tyres and will come out ahead of Reed, so there is a back marker that's going to be stuck between 2nd and 3rd place. Which I think is Damir. Yeah, it is Damir. I don't fancy anybody really fancying to drive off track to let him through in these conditions. You know, it's not nice for Damir now. It'd be nice if he could get through and get onto the lead lap, but you know. So yeah, it's a bit much to ask, I think. Now, if Whoopi picks up 3 seconds under the safety car, Whoopi, what are you doing? There you guys. Right, guys, I'm just going to nip off a moment. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, guys, back with you. Sorry about that. Evening, Papa. Thanks for joining. And oh, you flatterer, you. Evening, young man. He says. Hope you're well, man. Really not what I needed. I think Whoopi there talking probably about the safety car. Didn't need the safety car as we get the confirmation the safety car will be in his lap. So yeah, Damir, unfortunately for Damir, still stuck between second and third. So I don't really think anybody was going to be wanting to move off track in order to let him through in these conditions. It's a bit risky. Unfortunately for Davey, it doesn't look like he's... Well, no, he's not going to get onto the back of the safety car, unfortunately. I'm a little lost, actually. I don't think Davey's on the lead lap either. As we get going again, that's Damir staying well out of the way. That's an Alpine going across the grass, isn't it? Is that... Was it an Alpine or was it a Williams? I'm not sure. It's we'll be having a look at Reed. And this is 16 lap intermediates for Reed. Fresh intermediates for Whoopi. And as I say, it's exceptionally quick in these conditions as Whoopi. The yellow flag. I think that was just Damir actually just staying out of people's way again, letting people through. As Whoopi moves to the inside, then at the hairpin, Reed took that high line that he's become accustomed to throughout this race. Very close between the two, but no contact. Reed picks up the toe, allows him to come back a little bit, but he's going to have to, yeah. He's always going to have to break a bit earlier than Whoopi in a way, being that close to the back of him. As Carsey gets the lead into turn one. Give it another lap or so and I will get these penalties brought up on the screen. This is Gaza. I'm going to look at Baz, and it's still James Gaza and Operator who are penalty free. And Reed. Oh, Whoopi's ran wide, and that's allowed Reed and Taylor through. And presumably Junkie's going to get a chance. He does. Then there's Well on the back, but Well unfortunately not going to get there. I can't imagine Well would have been massively impressed by that safety car either. The timing of it. That's John. It's close to Whale, but not close enough to make a move. He remains our... Sorry, Taylor on Reed probably remains our most likely, but a little bit of gap to make up first. Maybe Whoopi and Junkie. Junkie's had a superb race, by the way. Running P5. To say though, I don't give driver of the day to anybody who's got a penalty, so James down 1, Gaz up 8, Operator up 3. That ain't going to be an easy decision between those three. James running roughly where he has done in previous weeks, and he's done very well. Gaza running lower than you'd expect him to, but he's recovered from the back of the grid, having been spun and DNF'd in the sprint race through no fault of his own. And Operator running in the points again this week, so all three penalty free. And yeah, I think, well, I don't know, it's... I'm not even, well, I don't know, I'm really not sure how I'm going to choose between the three of them, actually, if I'm quite honest with you. But choose I shall at the end. And I think let's bring up the penalties then. So Darcy has 3 seconds. Reed has 12 seconds. It's going to hurt him a little bit. Freeman on 9. Sorry, I'm just working out. Freeman on 9, Taylor on 3. So at the moment, I think Freeman will hold on to P2. Taylor on 6, so he's safe. Junkie on 9, Whoopi, fortunately for him, on 18. And looking below him, that is going to hurt. At the moment, I think that drops him down to P12. That is very, very quick maths, but I think it does because they are in a train. So yeah, that is going to drop him down to P12. The only reason it's not for P13 is because Taguna's got 15 seconds. Other than that, yeah, lots and lots of penalties then. But it's Canada, you expect it, and I think it answers my question. If you remember, or if you were with me earlier in the race, I said I don't know whether these conditions will make it easier to pick up penalties or harder. So, or you know, easier to avoid penalties or harder to avoid. So, I think we've got the answer now. I think it's easier to pick them up. Pete wants to finish as high as he can on track ultimately, and you know he's hoping not to drop too far down, but I think there's going to be a lot he could do about it. As Oozers gets ahead of Operator. Missed that one. Oh, I think Oozers' timing's gone a bit strange on the board. Stuck on plus 0.067. It's not changing. It's not changing for anything. I hope. Anyway, we're on the last lap. Car C is going to bring home another monumental victory. To say, I believe Freeman is going to hold on for P2. He's got just over a second to play with, and they're going around the hairpin, so I think he's going to be okay. And I believe that Taylor will promote up to the final podium spot. Obviously, these will all be potential for change in the, you know, with Stewart in and all that sort of thing to go afterwards. But for the purposes of today's race, Car C takes the checkered flag and wins in Canada. Freeman takes a brilliant P2 for Red Bull. Reed finishes P3 on track, but due to penalties, Taylor jumps ahead of him. Oh, Well ends up jumping to P4. Oh no, hang on. James ends up jumping by staying penalty free. James has ended up on the podium. I think that sorted out my driver of the day anyway. Taylor P4, Whale P5, Jon Snow ended up P6 in the end. He's had a good race. Baz P7, Junkie P8. Reed has dropped all the way to P9. I think some of this may need looking at, you know, because this did not look like what was going to happen when I was working them out beforehand, when I brought them up on screen. I think some of this might need sorting out. Gaz's P10, Moomin's 11, Whoopi 12, Laguna 13, Operator 14, picking up points again. Dorian in 15. Moving happy with P11. Well done, man. Operator, first race this season with no penalties, so well done. What a track to do that at as well. Probably the hardest track of the season not to pick up a penalty, and it's your first one. Unbelievable. But I think, yeah, I'm just going to have to go with what the game says is the top 3. But I think we may need to just take a look at the end of the stream just to double check some of these positions, because there are some huge movers there, and that's not how I was working it out. So obviously we'll go with what's happened. So we'll speak to the top 3. Car C, Freeman and James. But And but regardless, James does take my driver of the day for today. So invite Carcy. Get these boys in, have a quick chat. So, actually, sorry, let me just scroll through. Make sure I get these instants, a lot of instants, because all the warnings, the 3-second warnings.
Hello.
Hello. Just scrolling through all the instants, make sure I get them all. And here comes Freeman as well, excellent. Okay.
Rolling.
Hello. Right, boys, if you can all just include your audio, please. Yeah, cheers, Papa.
Yep.
Thanks for joining, buddy. And, yeah, you're all included, yeah?
All good.
Yeah, good. Right, well, wow. What a race.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. James, we always go 3, 2, 1, so I'll come to you first. I didn't expect your name to go all the way up to P3, I have to admit. I mean, it's just only
I'll be
3 of
honest
you
with you,
stayed penalty
nor did
free,
I.
so well done to all 3 of you. I think we may need to double check it, but we're going with what we got. It shows you as P3. You're also my driver of the day, so congratulations to that as well. Because I just don't give it a cut. Well, Kirsty got a penalty, so he's not allowed to win it today.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, so
He deserves it.
congratulations, man. Penalty free around Canada in those conditions, and a podium.
It's tricky.
So yeah, tell us
I'm
about
buzzing,
it.
to be honest. Yeah, it's one of them races. We see incidents happen, and then it's like a late safety car. I was kind of like, I didn't really want it, but then I thought, well, actually, yeah, penalties. I didn't really know what the other guys had, so I was expecting to jump up a couple of places because I saw Whale and that, but yeah, I didn't know that the other guys had loads of penalties. So
Yeah.
tricky race. I like Canada. I'm normally not very good at it, like Junkie said in the Discord before, but yeah, buzzing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a difficult track. It's well, it's famous for gamers and for picking up the penalties. It's always this track. Seems to catch everybody out, and it certainly did that tonight.
I was saying to Whale in the party, you know, I'm coming into this race and I'm not going to get any penalties, and I should get a good result, and it happened. So
yeah,
there you go.
So you did what you set out to do. Operators in the chat saying, "Is this first race of the season with no penalties?" And
There you go. Then.
yeah, there you go. So excellent. Yeah, well, congratulations on P3, mate, and driver today, which
Thank
gives you
you.
a bonus point as well. So there you go.
Well done to the other two as well.
Yeah. Freeman, congratulations, mate. P2, absolutely superb drive from you today. Good to have you back. Not just back, but back on the podium.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm a bit lost. Yeah, it was interesting. It's good to be back up here. Just try to keep it clean and consistent. Obviously, ran into a few penalties and that, but yeah, I had a good couple of battles with people. I had the pressure on, but just held my own, just held on to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue that with you. That was yeah, it's a professional drive. Really, you just you stuck with it, got through it. Really, you know. Well, one thing that was different for the top guys out there was at one point was the top 4 of you stayed out on wets quite a lot longer than anybody else. Jon Snow took that to the absolute extreme and stayed out for way too long. But the other 3 of you pitted all, I think, at the right time. I was keeping an eye as best I could on the gaps between the inters and the wets. How did you guys know to, or for you, how did you know to stay out?
Well, I was sort of, like you say, I was kind of trying to gauge off of the inter runners. So on my screen, all I could see was Taylor McKenzie pitted before me, I believe. So I was able to watch him for a couple of laps, but like you say, I just watched and he wasn't gaining massively on the inters, so just planned to stay out. Plus, I was watching Kazi as well in front. I thought that helps the strategy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fair shout. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was trying to pick like someone down the field where the 2 drivers are pretty level on pace, and it was, the guy on inters would pick up 2 or 3 temps, but then he'd suddenly lose it again, and it was just stayed very even for a long time. But once it went, it definitely went as well, as Jon Snow found out. So anyway, mate, as I said, great to have you back, and great to have you back on the podium. Superb drive tonight, so fair play. If you were penalty free, you probably would have got the drive of the day, but because you're not, the man next to you gets it.
That's fair enough. Well done to the others as well.
Cool, thank you. And Carsey, our weekly chat. I don't know what else to say to you, man. I've said it from before. I mean, just great drive. You went out there, you did what you had to do. Obviously, you were helped a little bit in the sprint by the crash between Whoopi and Reed. I think that did make quite a big difference to the day, really. But I think you probably would have done the same thing in a way, ultimately. So, yeah, great drive. Glad to be back on the top step.
Yeah, it feels good. I guess it didn't feel to me anywhere as calm as it might have looked to you. Yeah. At one point, I very nearly lost it in the wall, and I don't know how I didn't hit the wall, to be honest with you. Lost a few seconds, though, and both race starts, I had someone fly past me that had to navigate my way around, and because my wings were so high, it meant I had to make the move on a corner rather than what I'm used to, which is going past someone with DRS in a straight. But as you said, I think it would have been even more difficult again if Whoopi and Reid didn't collide with each other, because Reid was definitely at least in the dry anyways, was very, very fast, probably faster than me. I was actually saying to him, because I haven't been in the game in 6 days because I've had these uni projects to do, so I was just saying to him, like, if he's in the lead, I probably will just sort of sit back and try and get him on pens rather than try and battle, because I didn't think I'd have his pace. But I guess you never really forget, do you? So by my second or third quality lap, I felt like I was back on it again. So yeah. I enjoyed it for sure. It's good to get some wet practice in for sure.
Definitely. It's not something we've seen a lot of in WAOF1, to be fair. We haven't done many wet races at all, I don't think, over our time. So it's good to have one every now and again, and it shakes things up. There's no doubt, I've got to say, Whoopi had astounding pace in the wet as he was making his way back through the field. But at the same time, when you're driving to the limits all the time, that's when you pick up the penalties, and that he did, 18 seconds. So that hurt. But
it's just getting a fine balance, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to find that sort of in between, haven't you? But it certainly makes it a bit different. The actual crash, by the way, in the sprint, Whoopi actually lost it. It wasn't like just a coming together. Whoopi spun, and that's how they made contacts. But it did maybe lost us a bit of a battle between you, Reid, and Whoopi, maybe. But Whoopi.
I don't think I would have had a chance of staying past them, really, or breaking DRS, because they were going to be gaining at least half a second in the straight because of how high my wings are, because I had a wet setup on in the sprint.
Yeah.
So I think they would have just flown past me every lap.
I did notice when you set up to start the race in the sprint, you basically pointed your car directly at Reid. I thought, oh my God, what's he doing? He's just going to go for him.
Well, I wanted to make sure I went into turn 1 first, but then Whoopi came around my inside, which I didn't account for.
Yeah, I raced with Whoopi in another league, and he's a great starter. He usually has the host advantage, but he didn't have that tonight, so it just shows he's a good starter in a way. But the race was a foregone conclusion. You were starting next to the host, and the host was P2.
It was
obvious.
I've never seen the likes of it. He started driving, my lights weren't out yet. That's the second time that's happened.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was such an advantage.
Yeah, no, nor did I. It's worse now than it has been before, but apparently it's been around since the start of the game. But I'd never noticed it until the last couple of weeks. So it's insane. They're like side by side, proper side by side before you even lights even go out. It's like, what?
I need to do something about that.
Definitely. Because my internet's not good enough to host. If it was, it'd be fine. Keep it. Anyway, guys, thank you to the three of you for coming and having a quick chat, and congratulations on your races. Superb results all round. As always, to everybody that's watched live with me, kept me entertained as well. and stuck with us as well throughout the restart. So thank you very much to everybody that's watched live, and also everybody that watches the stream back at a later point. We really appreciate it. We will be back. Who knows what race it is next week then? I ain't got any admins on.
Spain.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, Spain's my best track.
Was it?
Spain's my
Not
best
what we
track,
wanna
but
hear,
I've
Carsey,
but
come
I've
on.
done two. No, I've done 2 races here around Spain, and I haven't got a podium yet. So something always goes wrong for me.
You never
even though I
curse.
think it's my best track. Yeah.
Excellent.
So-
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So it's Carsey's best track next week at Spain. There we go. What about the other two? Freeman and James. What do you?
Not either way, really. Yeah, either
Yeah,
way. I like
I was
it.
gonna say Spain ain't too bad. Spain ain't too bad.
I like the track. I do like the track, and I like the changes they made to it as well. What do you guys reckon for next season? Because they've announced they're getting rid of the chicane. Do you think that's a good thing?
Can we do that next week instead? Is that all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lovely.
yeah.
It's
You write the code and send it into them. That's fine.
if they get rid of the chicane, that's so much better for actual racing. But it's where I gain the most time on track. So
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to league racing with it because that's where I gain like all my time over other people.
Yeah, I must admit, at the moment, the chicane helps people to defend down the straight because it enables you just
Yeah, it
to
does, yeah,
pull
yeah.
away a little bit, doesn't it? And get it to sort of half a second, 6/10 that you
Correct,
need to
yeah.
defend down the straight.
Yeah.
But just a boring right-hander basically is going to be what's replacing it, and it's going to
It'll
make
give
it
us
a lot
better
harder.
racing though.
It will. It give much more overtaking.
for sure.
So, yeah, that's So I guess it'd be good. But anyway, all right then, guys. Well, thank you very much. Join us next week, 8 p.m. for La España, and no sprint next week, guys. We'll be back to full quali and 50% race. For myself, I'm racing the next 2 nights, and I don't stream the races yet. So I will be back on Friday for PRF1 at 8:30. So I'll see you then. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless.
A bit early.
And
Thanks,
see you
guys.
soon.
Good drives, guys. Good drives.
Well done,
today.
guys.